You're listening to the Real Agents of Charlotte at Level Up Realty with the HBIC,
La Panameña Realtor, the real OG,
the inquisitive realtor,
the educating agent,
the inspiring agent,
where real meets real estate. On today's episode, we will explore preparing for home ownership. So we want to talk a little bit about our quote for the day with La Panameña Realtor. What do you have for us?
So people, what we have for today is failure will never overtake me if my determination to succeed is strong enough. So this message is for everybody to have a drive. Like as a real estate agent, we work for ourselves. And so many people think that once you get your license, everything is butterflies. And it's not. You have to have a drive to get clients, to people to know you out there. So it's very difficult because sometimes you get a lot of rejection. So pretty much never let rejection stop you. Keep going. And there's a lot of people out there that are their own bosses. So just keep going no matter what, because with 3 no's, you get it. The 4th one will be a yes. So just keep going. Queens, what do you have to say about that?
I think that hits home when it comes to becoming a home buyer as well, because you're talking about it from the real estate agent standpoint, but from somebody buying a home, you might hit snags along the way. It's called a journey. So you may get no's as well as yeses, but if you persevere, you're going to get through this. I believe everyone has a path to yes, and that'll get you there.
Yeah, it could be a lot of frustration in that process for some people, but you always will be there. Like if it's meant to be, it's meant to be no matter what. And when it's for you, it's for you. Even if you put yourself there or take yourself out, it will be for you.
That's all right.
I love that. So let's talk about a fact of the day. I think our educating realtor has a interesting fact that our listeners may be interested in hearing about. What do you got for us?
So I know you all are not going to be yawning when you hear this, but did you know that yawns are more contagious among family members than among strangers? What do you guys think about that? Do you agree?
That's funny. That is funny because I just yawned and nobody else, because everybody else is not related to me, nobody else yawned. So I'm going to test this theory later on because I want to see if this is true or not.
Maybe because you're comfortable around your family members. Yeah, and then like if somebody does it like, oh, maybe, you're so comfortable that it picks up.
Right. Because I thought it was just contagious against everybody. Like if you're looking at somebody and they yawn, then you're going to yawn. But let's see.
I wanted to yawn, but because we're not family, I just held it back. I think socially we just want to keep it together. But and maybe people know we're tired.
Maybe you just need water. There is some research. That says when you're yawning a lot, it's because you're thirsty. Actually,
I thought that was hiccups.
No, hiccups have nothing to do with thirst.
Oh.
It's hunger. Like if you feel hungry after you just ate, you're pretty much thirsty. Mm-hmm. And if you're yawning, it's because you're lack of water. So you're dehydrated. You just don't know.
Mm-hmm. I do have more energy when I drink my water.
It is true. If you work out and drink your water, you're good to go all day long.
Okay. All right. I think we'll go with that. And then the inquisitive realtor has advice of the day for us right off the top.
Okay, listeners, so I have a golden nugget for you. My advice of the day is all around goal setting. WIIFM, what's in it for me? So when you're setting those goals, that's what you need to ask. A lot of times we live and we set goals based on others, whether it's our children or our parents, things of that nature. But what's your why? What is your why? What is your passion? Set your path. Make sure it's clear. Setting those clear expectations means doing your research. Is it realistic for you? Because if you're doing it for someone else, you're not going to give it your all. Make sure you're guarding your circle. Your circle is your family members, your peers, those professional experts that's coming along that journey for you to be successful in that goal. Guard your circle. And last but not least, be consistent. Okay? Consistent doesn't mean that you're going to get that goal on the first shot, but it definitely means that you're not going to give up. I gave them blessings. What do you guys think?
So to add what you just said, sometimes it helps a lot of people to write these things down. Write your goals down so you can see it every day and push yourself to keep going towards that goal. Do your vision boards. Do whatever you need to do to have a reminder every day of that goal and how to get there and your why, pretty much. Because sometimes we just forget, and if we have that reminder, it will help out tremendously.
I like that.
And along with that, it kind of goes with our quote of the day about determination to succeed. If you always remember your why and your passion behind what you're doing, then you will succeed. So that kind of ties along with our quote of the day.
Right, and to piggyback off of what you said, I tell a lot of my clients or people who are just asking me for advice, like, create a vision board. Make sure you put it somewhere where you look at it. Like if you're married, do it with your husband, do it with your family, do it with everybody who is going to be a part of that vision so that you all can create it together.
So pretty much it's like when you're hunting for a treasure, you have a roadmap to follow. That will be the roadmap to your own success.
Yes.
I would further by saying that it doesn't have to be so official. A lot of people don't do it because they say they don't have time to do it. Everyone has their own way of creating a vision board. I have a screensaver on my computer of something that I want, and every time I have it on there, just to believe it, I get it. Some people put push pins of just pictures on their wall, by their bed, or on their mirror. So whatever works for you, just do something.
Yeah, I think too that kind of goes into your faith and what you believe is going to happen. Your belief and your mindset is what you're going to get. What you put into the atmosphere is what will manifest. Like even in our office, we have, if you build it, they will come. Because when we built our office, it was just a shell. And my husband said, you know, what are you going to put on the wall? And I thought about it and I was like, well, we're going to put some pictures or something up. And he said, no, he was like you actually built that. And it kind of goes with the field of dreams. If you build it, they will come. And that meant for agents, it meant for clients, and just, you know, believing in those things. So also the wall that we have in our office is a manifestation wall, meaning we want people to come in and write on the wall their visions and their goals. That is the sole purpose of that wall, because seeing the goals come to pass, it really it resonates with people. Because I think when you're asking for something, a lot of times maybe you don't think it's real, or you know what comes out of your mouth is real, whether or not you're speaking life or death on people. Like that's real. So that's my takeaway too from that. It's probably a little bit too deep. Let's go on into preparing for home ownership. So yesterday I went to WBTV and I spoke about home and the acronym home and what it means for our agency. And the H goes for how's your credit. So I think a lot of people don't know what their credit is. They don't check their credit. And so we really want to encourage people to know your numbers before you begin to work with someone. And we're not just talking about, you know, finding your numbers on Credit Karma or something like that, because that is not a mortgage readiness credit. They definitely use a different system than even the systems that you'll find when you go and purchase a car. A lot of people don't know what the credit score is to even be approved for a home. I know Jasmine, the real OG, recently did a poll on her, website or on her social media platform, and she asked her followers, what that score should be. Jasmine, tell us. So, what did they say?
So I did the poll probably a few weeks ago, and it had like a few different options as to what you could choose. And so basically, again, like she said, the question was, what credit score do you think you need to get approved for a home loan? And the options were 480, 580, 640, 680, or 700. And before I answer and say what everybody else thought, I want to ask the other agents, before you got into real estate or before you even got any knowledge of anything like this, what did you think it was?
650 and up.
Yeah, I agree with that.
620, 650.
Yeah, when I first was looking for my first home, I thought it was about 640 because I called the bank and they were saying 640 for their program. Mm-hmm. So I thought it was at least 640.
Yeah, I thought it was over 600 too. And then a lot of people were telling me I got the answer 580. I got 640, I got 580, and I got 640. And I think somebody else on my Instagram said 680. But like I told them, and as we all now know as agents, you only need a 580 to qualify. The 640 and the higher scores, they are kind of overlays for other programs and other things like that. But the minimum score to qualify for a house is 580 for FHA loan and VA, which we found out in our military mortgage boot camp training.
So it's a lot of fear out there because there is a lot of people that believe they have bad credit, but they really haven't checked. And sometimes they feel ashamed of their credit. And guys, it shouldn't be that way. It's an opportunity for everybody to be able. And actually, with discipline, you always can make that credit score improve. So self-discipline will get you there. And it's always help out there to get you to that path if you are not all the way in 580. There is help out there that we as agents can get you connected with.
Right.
I think an important analogy too is, people, like she mentioned too, they're like scared of it. Like your credit score is like you get a piece of paper and someone tells you to draw something. Okay. You created it. So anything you create, you can eliminate and erase and start all over again. So you need to look at it like, okay, you just drew a really ugly boogeyman. Okay, you can get rid of that boogeyman. Okay, so you erase and recreate. So erase and recreate is what you need to focus on, because that credit score, it changes from time to time, which means that if it's bad or what you perceive to be bad, you can make it good. So just really focus on that. Don't get stuck on, it's a 400 day, it'll never change. That is not true. That is not true. So.
Yeah, I think that's a really important point, actually, that credit is something that's very dynamic. It's constantly changing. It's never, it can be this score this month, and next month you can do some things, and it can be 100 points higher. So you really kind of determine what your score is, and you can kind of change it and make it be what you want it to be in the time frame that you want it to be that.
Good. So the O in our acronym is for ownership. And we talked about that because with ownership, at some point you transition from, renting and wanting to pay someone else's mortgage. And the reason why I say that is because most times when you're renting, the person who owns the home more than likely is still paying a mortgage. It is the same thing when you're renting from like an apartment complex or condominiums uptown, wherever you are, they are still paying a mortgage and you're paying. So, of course, they should not be depending on you making your payment. They need to know that they can make that mortgage with or without your money. But guys, like you're saying that you don't want to pay a mortgage, but you're paying a mortgage and it's not yours.
You bring such a great point because I can't tell you how many times I've had clients say, well, why should I own a home? Because I'm going to have all the other responsibilities that my landlord will take care of. But then on the flip side, you want to fire your landlord. And I think that in our society, we're so used to things being quick and easy and convenient. And it's scary that we're starting to see home ownership as inconvenience and we're forgetting they're not making any more land. That's it. So you need to get your piece of the pie. Yes, there are responsibilities with home ownership and that's life. But when you get that piece of land, that's yours. That's generational wealth that's not happening anymore. And we really need to change our mindset in today's world of I need that ownership.
And along with that generational wealth, you do then bring about buildings and land that you can pass on to your family. But in addition to that, along with that responsibility comes the ability to make your own decisions for your household. If you want someone, you want to help a family member out and they need to stay with you. When you live under someone else's roof that you're paying their rent, they make the rules. So you really, you kind of take away some of your autonomy by paying someone else to make the rules for you. So,
and what Tay said earlier, that everything is so convenient and so easy, also comes with the different generations that are getting older now that are able to be homeowners. Their mentality is different than ours right here. So since their mentality is different, everything is easier, everything is very electronic. That's why they don't want that responsibility. But in the other side, it is a great feeling that you're putting your money to work towards you, because at the end, this is something that you're going to have for you and your family that is going to grow eventually with equity and other things. So it's not the same that I have to ask my landlord if I want to paint my wall green versus I just go and buy the paint and just paint it.
I think it's interesting you talk about being easier, but the fact is we don't set our rents. It's set by the landlord. And the thing is, when we have our mortgage, for the most part, we're locked into a 30 or 40-year mortgage. Our expenses with very minimum variations is fixed. And the thing is, it's with using a realtor and using someone who is a part of the home buying process, it makes it easier for you. Once it's done, it is done. And there are services that are out there right now to help with maintenance and things like that. And that's something that anybody who's a good realtor could go ahead and, let you know about. But the fact is, rents are going up, period. You don't decide how much it is. What you can afford today may not be what you can afford tomorrow. Rents are going up faster than salaries are. People move homes faster than they move jobs. So to even think that this is something that's going to be better for you, not renting, I'm sorry. I'm a landlord and I love that you guys pay my rent, but it's not what's best for the person. And I actually help people who are with me if they want to move on to home ownership process.
So when we talk about like that fear factor of being a homeowner, the first thing that comes to mind to me is when you're paying your landlord's mortgage, how many times do you actually have to call them to say, the air went out, the heat's not working, the refrigerator stopped working, there's a leak. How many times have you actually had to call in an alert? And you'll find that when you really think that over, it's less times than more. And then if something did happen, there are things that you can do to prepare yourself. It's called preparation, that you can prepare yourself for the what ifs. You can get a home warranty. And it doesn't cost that much to have a home warranty. So just protect yourself. $500-$600 a month will cover you for 12 months. And then, put that money aside. So the next 12 months you can pay again. That money that you're putting aside and the deductible that you will need to pay, because it's like insurance, is going to be less than the actual problem itself.
So I have one of my friends had a problem in her apartment, and just coming back to how it could be easy and not easy. So it was a problem with the rugs, and they were like kind of floppy, and then you could fall down. So they came. She specifically told them that they can come when she's in the apartment, and they didn't follow that. So it looked like they left some dirt behind, a baseball cap. The thing didn't look right. There were nails sticking out. So sometimes easy is not the best option. And we're not saying that your landlord is not going to take care of you properly, but it happens because everybody's human. And this could be a liability, because when you hang out in there, that nail can go through your feet, and then it's another problem. So don't think that owning your own home is going to create a problem. It's actually an opportunity for you to grow your wealth.
So the M is for meet your realtor. You should court your realtor just like you would do if you are going to marry somebody or go on a date. You want to know who you're working with. And, this time and day, you can just go and Google somebody or go on Facebook and see who you're working with. And besides that point, you want to make sure that your personalities don't conflict, or that, they're going to be there for you if you need them. Check with them to see if they have the time to respond to you, because the biggest thing that happens in most agency relationships is that you're calling your agent and they're not calling you back. They abandon you. So, make sure that they're not too busy to respond to you as your agent. And most importantly, we should talk about the agency agreement. So no realtor, or I can just speak for myself. I'm not showing anyone a property that I am not representing, because clients tend to bounce from agent to agent and agent. And then as a real estate agent, you only get paid when the deal closes. So if I'm going to spend my time to be loyal to you and I'm showing you 10 or 15 houses, I want to know that you're just as loyal to me and you're committed to allow me to professionally take you from the start to the finish of that relationship, or, till you get the keys in your hand. And if you intend to, shop around, because you can, I think that it's important that you let that agent know that you're shopping around so that they can make a decision whether or not they want to date you, essentially.
And also, along with the courting your realtor, when you think about it, this is going to be the largest, or one of the, if not the largest purchase of your entire life. So when you're looking for a home, you want to make sure that you have an agent that's going to take your home buying process as serious as if it was spending their own money. And I can honestly say that we here at Level Up Realty are very good about taking your home deals very serious and personal.
Yeah, this is why I like to definitely, again, like she said, court people at the beginning. I like to meet people face to face. You can talk to people on the phone and you can be one way, but I like to show people my demeanor and how I operate in person. And then a lot of times, people will decide to go with me because they like my personality, and I let them know how I work. I'm my client's biggest advocate. I'm there to, I'm there to meet their needs and to get everything that they're looking for, and hopefully more. So a lot of times I ask my clients, like at the end of me telling them how I work and how things work, I ask them like, do you think you'd be comfortable with working with me? And I do ask them, like Beyonce, to put a ring on it. And sign a buyer agency agreement just to ensure that we are working together and we are working to accomplish the same goal.
And so that relationship is confidential and exclusive. So you're exclusive to work with that agent. You're marrying your agent to get you from start to finish. And any and everything that you tell us is for your protection. It is confidential. We don't share. And the E is for exploring the neighborhoods. So we talked about, I'm just saying with my clients or with, I'm sure you guys tell your clients, like, go out and look at where you want to live. I think that it saves clients time. It'll save the agent time as well. But when we talk about, because this process is about you, it's not about the agent. You don't want to get burnt out from driving from Huntersville, Mooresville, Cornelius, Southwest Charlotte, South Park. You're down in Matthews. Tomorrow you're going to Page in South Carolina. You're in Fort Mill and Lake Wiley. It's very important that you know where you want to live so that then that agent, you can give them direction. And with your direction, we can better make you to a home that fits your criteria.
And I think what a lot of the public do not know is that we are invested in this career. This is our investment. We are professionals. We're all realtors, which actually is a designation. A lot of people don't realize that you can be in real estate. You can be a real estate agent, but that doesn't make you a realtor. So there are ethics that we have to follow. We cannot steer anyone to or from a particular neighborhood. Yes, we are here to guide you, support you, educate you. And we at Level Up Realty, that is one of our biggest values, to make sure that we're giving that to our clients, but never do we want to steer you. So not to say that you will ever be alone, because you won't with us, but you definitely want to know where you're going, what's important to you, what are you looking for? Because not only will it be overwhelming to go through all of those neighborhoods, but it's not fun. Buying a home can be a stressful process. And if you're traveling all across the globe, it makes it even more difficult. So we know that when we make that decision to buy that home, really defining those goals, going back to that advice of the day, is going to be key.
Good. So we're going to talk to the inspiring agent about a story of the day. What do you have for us?
Hey, well, recently we were at an outreach event, Level Up Realty. We feel like it is important to give back to our community. So, we're in the community, we're here. And I went to an event and there was a little girl who came up to me and she wanted to be picked up. She wanted to dance, she wanted to party. I didn't want to offend her mom. And culturally, like, we pick up kids and, we kind of let them know that we're here, and they look into your eyes and they look into your soul. And this was actually a back to school remix. We applaud the person who did it because, we're very much about community. And it was interesting, but her mom came up. She wasn't weirded out or anything like that. She's like, oh, she loves people. And I'm like, well, I love people too. So we danced and partied and had fun with our neighbors. And, one of the things you want to say, definitely it's more important to give back. You got to give more than what you take. And for us, that's definitely something that we aspire to do as a company. So we're here.
I love that. We are definitely here. Just speaking more about the event itself, we are givers. Level Up Realty is about community. So we want to go into the community. We also have Coffee with a Queen, where we give back to small businesses. We want to promote small businesses to help you to get your name out there. So that's another, way that you can get involved with Level Up Realty. Maybe you're not ready to purchase a home today. Maybe you're not ready to rent a home today. Maybe you're an investor and you already have someone that's managing your properties. How can we assist you and help to promote your business? We are about collaboration over competition. So that is what makes Level Up Realty the number one real estate firm in the Carolinas. So we'll just put that plug out there.
All right, yo, you have the real OG, and I'm here with your social media minute. So I was scrolling Twitter, and someone asked a question. They said, growing up, was bringing home a C acceptable? Now, I'm going to say for me, it was not acceptable up until high school. Because, when you get in high school, the classes get a little harder and things like that. So they asked, was bringing a C acceptable? So like I said, before high school, a C was okay. Once I got into high school, because I had honors classes and stuff like that, so a high C was good for me in high school. A lot of people were commenting, and a lot of people said no, C's were not acceptable. They did have a few people that did say C's was acceptable. One person said, yes, I was passing, so my mom accepted that, but I only got C's in like 2 classes. So yeah, that's understandable that is acceptable if it's only like 2 classes. Another person said, no, it wasn't, but it is at their house. So when they were growing up, it wasn't, but now at their house it is. She said, if a C is the best you can do, then a C it is. Bring home a C in PE or drama, and we have a problem. Because obviously those are easy classes. You shouldn't be getting a C in PE or drama. So what about you guys? Was C's acceptable or no?
My mama, I'm sorry. My mama would have told me to see myself back into that room and look at some books. So no, and I grew up in a blended family. So my dad, he's Muslim, and then my stepdad is military. So there was never a C coming my way. I wish.
But I would say there's 2 kids in my family, and the thing is, I did nothing to get B's. And my brother struggled to get D's. Mm. And so for my mom, I think I personally thought that if I got a C, I would get in trouble. Apparently, it wasn't the truth. They just wanted me to do the best, what is best for me. And my brother did what was best for him. He's extremely intelligent, and he's has a great job right now, but not book smart is not for everyone. He can take a car apart and put it together. He's not a mechanic. So it worked for him. So as long as they did their best, I did not do my best, and I got a B. But so for me, as a mom, I'd be like, that's not good enough for you because I could have done better. For him, he did his best. I have kids now, and for me, we set the standard. The standard is A. I'm not going to be okay with you getting a C. I want you to try for an A. If you get a C, I'm good. Not saying I'm not going to be okay. We're good. But if you're trying for an A and you get a C, I'm happy for you.
That's good.
So for me, it's a little different. When you read it, I was confused for a little bit. I was like, what do you mean a C? Because I was not really connecting to what you were saying. The thing is, like, I'm from Panama, born and raised, and I went to school there. And the grades are a little different when you're in school. It's with numbers, and the highest is 5. So I got a little bit confused there. When you go to college, yes, it goes by letters. but it's 1 to 5, and when you're a 1, you're really not making it at all. But when I was a kid, probably my 3 years of school, I was so good in school. Like I would come home and in my uniform do all my homework. I was the kid until I went to third grade and math came in the thing, and everything fell apart. And then my parents got divorced, and I thought I was happy about it, but apparently not. And then school was not a priority for me. So my mom, not a priority, but my mom was a little bit more lenient because of the situation that we were going through. And I was very rebellious. So even going on to to the next, what? We don't call it high school. We call it high school already, but I guess seventh grade, eighth and ninth. I was still a little funny. And then after that, I came back together and I was very good student after that. But it goes by number, and then it will be like 5 will be an A, and then it goes 4.9 and going down progressively.
Okay. Tiffany, what about you?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it depends on the kid, because the C was absolutely not acceptable for me, and my brother could get by with murder, I felt like. But, and I didn't begin to understand that until I became an adult. Because I used to be like, are y'all really fussing at me? He got straight C, and then y'all want to talk to me? But, I mean, I think it just depends on the kid, knowing your students and how they are capable of performing and whether they're doing their best or not. So I guess it depends on the kid.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it definitely does depend on the kid. Listeners, we would love to know, was a C acceptable in your household when you were growing up? And is it acceptable now in your household as a parent? Because I know I'm more lenient as a parent than I was than before, than my mom was. But yeah, let us know in the comments, how did it work in your household?
So as a question to you girls, I don't know if you have noticed, but I know a lot of people that were, I guess, the best in school. And when we went out to the field and find jobs and work and be in adulthood, they were a total mess. Like they were book smart, but they were not common sense was not there. Like then I saw the person that were misbehaving all the time and had the worst grades. They were a lot better. So it was like a social. Yeah, there was. It's a social problem. I don't know what it is, and sometimes I'm like. I used to tell my mom, like, if you have the best grade, that doesn't mean you're going to be the best doing something. Yeah. So I'm not saying kids that don't have good grades, yes, do have the best grades. But also when you are in the work field, is too. It's experience who you are and also that knowledge. So it's a complement about a lot of things, not just that books.
Wonderful. We appreciate you guys for listening to this segment of Preparing for Home Ownership. Let us know what you would like to hear more of. You can email us at therealagents@gmail.com or comment below. We would love to hear from you.